What if some Americans say the most important thing is not facilitating the rich getting richer? That is literally the message she's running on.
You just tainted the American dream with that statement.
In this video, Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland of the Majority Report with Sam Seder take a look at Kevin O'Leary, a.k.a. Mr. Wonderful. And Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland have some zingers to lay on him, but he's really as affable and wonderful as Kevin O'Leary pretends to be. He's really a piece of shit. So let's take a look at this together, and then I will ask what you think in the comments.
He's on CNN, Mr. Wonderful, and attempting to revive the whole thing that AOC, remember, this is what Trump did his first term. They should go back to where they live. I don't know if people remember this about the squad.
Yep.
This is the theme they're going to try and revive. Again, this is what they tried with Obama, just because they saw Obama as a threat. This is what they do with people who are not lily white.
You know, the ambassador of America, the CEO, the president, they have to embody the American dream. That's their number one job. Our number one export is not technology or energy. It's the American dream. People come to America.
Pause it for a second. I just want to make something clear. And we'll go back. A couple of things. Donald Trump fulfilled the American dream of being a multi-millionaire when he was born, and then just letting that money accrue. I will also add that this dude's from Canada. He's Canadian.
He has 3 citizenships and none of them are American.
Well, that is the American dream.
Come here. Okay.
Be on TV in America, taking American jobs.
Playing a capitalist. He's an actor capitalist. He plays one on TV.
Ironically, if he were to be coming here and immigrating to the United States, because this was the best opportunity for him to play a fake capitalist or play a capitalist on television as a part, that would be the American dream.
Why is he not buying the $5 million gold ticket? Cheap son. All right, go ahead.
Have to embody the American dream. That's their number one job. Our number one export is not technology or energy. It's the American dream. People come to America to achieve the American dream. She embodies the American nightmare. And so she could never, ever, because she doesn't believe that people should succeed in wealth. And this is a huge problem for her. What makes America so...
Only success is not in wealth. I mean, she came from very modest backgrounds. She was a waitress. I mean, I think that story, a lot of people would say that is the American dream. I think that is what...
She does not support capitalism.
No, well, I'm saying, I guess what I'm saying is, like, what if she's a democratic socialist, but that's that. But what if some Americans say the most important thing is not facilitating the rich getting richer? That is literally the message she's running on.
You just tainted the American dream with that statement. Do you understand that? You tainted what makes America work. Take that back. I forgive you for that. I forgive you for that. Don't ever say that again.
All I am suggesting, Kevin, is that there are many Americans who work really hard, and their aspiration is not to become...
Okay. First off, the proper response that Abby Phillips gives in that is, get the F out of here.
Yeah, point to the door.
Go away, you effing idiot.
Well...
But aside from this foreigner coming in and telling us what we should be doing in America and what the American dream is, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our latest feature entitled Matt Gives Us Some Literary History from a guy with a master's degree in literature. Well, actually, technically media studies, but never mind.
Yeah, media, culture, communication, well, which literature is part. The guy name is
war you guys have going on here.
James Truslow Adams. First coined the term American Dream in 1931. Part of his book, The Epic of America, and he described it, quote, not a dream of motor cars and high wages merely, but a dream of a social order in which each man and each woman, this is 1931, shall be able to attain to the fullest stature of which they are innately capable and be recognized by others for what they are, regardless of the fortuitous circumstances of birth or position.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is the actual American dream, not the one that this Canadian citizen of 3 other countries that he's bought his citizenship for actually believes it is.
So we're going to have to, and I think one of those is, I think there's birth of parents or whatever, but no, again, none of those is American. I just think it's really gross that CNN continues to have this guy on. He was in there earlier a few months ago saying, you know what, you got to move fast and break things and just slash stuff. He was supporting Doge. He has no, let's talk about skin in the game. He has no skin in the game with regards to our government. It's disgusting. And I don't know why, they all laugh at him sort of doing this thing where, how dare you say that? He should not be invited back to poison the minds and literally waste the mental capacity of American citizens at a scale that would put Roman bread and circuses to shame.
Listen, he's got a point, though, because it's a kind of sane washing when you let him on there and you treat it as entertainment, right? This idea of Doge, you got to move fast and break things, right? That's a tech company. That's a tech startup trying to disrupt an industry the way that Uber disrupted, the taxi industry. And you can argue whether or not that's a good thing or not, or just a natural part of innovation. But the government is not a business. The government doesn't work that way. And Pete Buttigieg actually had some comments on this recently that were really clarified that, right? Is that you can have a company like Apple make an iPhone, right? A multi-billion-dollar innovation. And you wouldn't want the government making an iPhone. The government iPhone would be a terrible product, right? That's what companies are good at doing, making great products. But the government is like a multi-trillion-dollar initiative to which there's no immediate return, right? So Pete Buttigieg's example was the internet. I mean, the government was directly responsible for inventing what we understand today as the internet because there was no clear, it was a public good, right? It was a public good, and it was an enormous project requiring basic research and at the $1 trillion level of funding this research and there not being an obvious paycheck at the end of it. So this idea of let's treat the government like a business and we'll move fast and break things, that's fundamentally wrong. And you can laugh at his funny little jokes as a capitalist, whatever, but he doesn't have any skin in the game. He's a billionaire. The rest of us are losing essential services that we have paid for with our taxes while these billionaires rip and run and gamble with it.
Yeah, I mean, they also on that panel, Scott Jennings is there on the left, who is their paid Trump apologist who they have on payroll. But Abby Phillip, to me, there is doing a thing that a lot of sometimes women have to do in media and other corporate jobs, laughing just to get through it. But the way that he disrespected her there is just insane. And the way he told her, you say this, you take it back. Bitch, this is her show. Get off air.
Yes.
Get off air. And but that level of arrogance that he has is astounding.
And he's a charlatan. I mean, look at his business career for what it is. It's like buying a toy company, the Mitt Romney special, and running out of business. Mattel is specifically. Google Kevin O'Leary Mattel. The idea that we should look at venture capitalists is anything other but order of magnitude bigger problem snake oil salesman is why we're lost in this country and why China is moving on high-speed rail and electric cars, and we're dealing with these charlatans.
I will say there is. It's quite a coincidence that the coinage of the American dream happened in 1931, where this guy was president. And we very well may be returning to that situation under the auspices of Donald Trump. I mean, it was in the depths of the Depression when the American dream was defined. And it wasn't in the context of everyone having more money. It was in everyone realizing their own worth and humanity. Divorced from rich guys like this guy driving around in fancy cars.
Talk about cheapening and devaluing the American dream.
How dare he? You know what?
For real.
He should be exported.
He should be. But they are also not just the conflation of just pursuing greed and a small amount of people being able to accumulate wealth and saying that's the American dream, that's just insane on its face. But also pair it with the administration's policies towards immigration. I grew up with the understanding that like this country was built by immigrants, and the Statue of Liberty,
Ellis Island,
and is a beacon of hope for people to come here and build a life for themselves. The administration undercuts the American dream with every fascistic action on immigration that they take, more than anything that AOC has said or ever will say.
People want to be like Donald Trump. That's the dream.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Yep. Emma Vigeland, Sam Seder. You know, one of the things I like about Emma Vigeland, aside from the fact that she's whip smart, she's angry. She really lets it out, and that chimes with me because I'm angry too. She really's got a sharp tongue, and she's not afraid to lacerate these jackasses with it. I like it. Well, why don't you let me know what you think in the comments?